finally set the hook and see this fish coming out of the water was just unreal.
And catching fish that dance on the water, that explode on the water, that you can see, feel, and hear when they hit is too much fun.
It's the most exciting fish to catch. They're aggressive, they jump and they thrash around.
The buggers are hard to find sometimes.
Welcome to the state's richest tournament fishing event, the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. I'm Chip Lear.
And I'm Tommy Scarless, and we start the third tournament of the season here on the Alexandria chain. And Chip, they should call this Alexandria the Great because it is chock full of bass.
There's a lot of feisty fish in this system, so you're going to want to stick with us on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is brought to you by Fox Sportsnet, KFAN Radio, and Media Rare Incorporated.
Everybody's going to have a good day.
If the guy gets 3 or 4 3-pounders, I think he's going to have a real good chance at winning this tournament.
I got out here and I started looking around and realized that, man, this is my kind of water.
You could catch 30, 40, 50 fish a day. That is no exaggeration.
You catch a lot of fish, but the problem is the weights get to be so close that you got to come up with a way to catch a little bit bigger fish.
There's a lot of 1.5 pound, 2-pound fish, and we can catch those. And we found some fish that are bigger than that.
Find a spot where nobody else is fishing or else something irregular in the weed line.
My theory is you get out on these weed lines on Homme Dieu or Darling and you catch your limit of fish, because once you get 8 fish in the box, at least that calms you down. Now you can try to go and get a bigger fish.
Fish!
What we're looking for are tournament winning fish, 3, 3.5, 4 pounds. And I think that that's ultimately what it's going to take to win this thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone's got the mother lode. Let's just hope it's me.
Wow, Chipper, angler expectations are really high, and they should be, but there's a lot more at stake than just catching a couple of fish here.
I'll tell you what, it's a great event here in the Alex chain, but for many of these anglers, they're looking at this entire season is coming down to today because it's starting to heat up in our Angler of the Year race.
And not to mention the Tournament of Champions. The anglers are fishing for points here. At every tournament, they get so many points for how they finish. 100 for first, 99 for second, etc., etc. And that's what determines our qualifying field and our Angler of the Year.
So for those anglers that are sitting on that bubble in 40th, 50th, and the 60th place, that overall package for the entire season may come down to this event right here today.
This is exactly where the rubber hits the road. So let's roll out on the water and see how these anglers are looking at this situation.
Well, I set my goal this year was to win Angler of the Year. Right now I'm sitting in first, but there's still 3 tournaments left. Brad Leiferman's in second, right behind me. You know, he is an excellent angler.
That's kind of a prestigious award here amongst our anglers. You go fishing, and if it works out, it works out, you know. The main thing is to make the top 40, and I don't know where you sit. 13th, top 15, so if we just go fish hard today and get us a limit of fish, we know we're going to be consistent. We'll be in there. Cream rises to the top. Dean Capra, them guys will all be up there at the end of the year.
Woo-hoo. Good luck this morning, Tad.
Hey, you too, man. Go get them.
Good luck, man.
Good luck to you, too.
It's just beautiful out. This is what summer's all about here in Minnesota.
80 degrees and sunny.
All right, man. Good luck. Let's
All right, let's do it.
Morning takeoff is incredible. Fresh air, the people blasting off. It's so exciting.
We're going to run down to Geneva. If nobody's in that channel, we're going to make a couple casts in that channel real quick, see if we can't get a fish out of there. Fish on. Well, we talked about it. These little bridges are loaded. There's one. Fish on. This will be a keeper. These bridges have a lot of fish in them. They constantly replenish themselves, and a lot of times it's just overlooked by guys. You know, it's too obvious. That's just kind of a little bonus thing there, you know. you take advantage of every opportunity you get. You know, it's an 8-hour day and you only get so many casts.
Well, we're gonna start by throwing Carolina rigs and jig worms and maybe some crankbaits, and then we're gonna move up in the thick stuff and flip it. Well, you always are waiting for that first bite. It's bass. Sometimes that can be the hardest one to get. No, he won't. He's little. Don't worry about it. This isn't the size we are looking for, but there's good ones here. It's always fun to catch one right away. It's a Rebel Deep We Are, it's called. What I do is throwing it out there, ripping it through the cabbage, fish coming up and eating it. Nope. Oh, don't jump. Don't jump. Ah, I got
it. Wonderful. You're the guy. Thank you. We're on Lake Geneva right now, and this is our starting spot. And we've got 5 so far, one really nice one, and the others are, they could be replaced. We'll make a good team. We're looking forward to having a great day.
Wasn't able to get the spot I really wanted to. Billy's sitting on it. It's frustrating to sit here and be this close to somebody catching some really nice fish. Keep on working it here.
I've been sitting here fishing this morning, and Billy Hildebrandt's right over there catching the fish I'd like to catch. It's been frustrating watching it, but you just got to ignore it and keep fishing and get your own. I won't keep. See him out there? Well, the only thing different that I'm doing than Billy is I'm out a little bit deeper. He's fishing the tighter to the weed line, and I'm fishing the drop off a little more. That was number 5, and it's 8 o'clock, so we still got a lot of time left here.
It's a pretty good spot here. There's some cabbage. I was a little concerned that somebody'd be here, but nobody is, so it's...
What a perfect day for fishing, huh? Perfect day for doing just about anything.
There we go. There you go.
First fish.
That's a dandy. Excellent, excellent job. I'm just going to sit here and watch you catch them. All right? In fact, here, I got the net ready for you. Sometimes you get some real good amateurs. I'm with you, dude.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery and Ranger Boats.
It'd be nice to be out there. That's a lake I've never fished.
But instead of being out on the water, pro angler Leroy Ranstrom is spending some time on this shag carpet. But even while he's making a living, he's living to fish.
Even at home or in the middle of the night, you'll be thinking, you wake up and you think, oh yeah, now I want to do this and do that and have this tackle ready for that. And because each lake is different. And so, I mean, even while I'm cleaning carpets, I'll be thinking about that. Definitely.
Leroy went into business for himself 22 years ago, but long before he cleaned that first carpet, he cleaned his first fish.
I'd always sneak down there and fish, even when I wasn't supposed to. But I'd bring back a bag of fish or a stringer of fish. My dad would say, now go clean them, but don't you go back down there again. Well, a couple of days later, I'd be back down there. You know, I was 8, 9 years old. I can only stay away so long, and you know, fishing got in my blood.
Today, tournament fishing is in his blood. It started back in 1984 when this die-hard muskie fisherman got turned on to the joy of fishing for bass.
I bought a bass boat from a guy, and he said, oh, you got to join our club. And then and this was way back in '84, and I joined their club, and the rest is history, I guess. And then I started fishing money tournaments, and then that gets in your blood, and it's kind of addicting, I guess. Well, carpet cleaning is a lot of work. I've been doing that for 22 years. But fishing these tournaments, I go home more tired, more exhausted, because it's just, it's so hard watching your line for 8 hours. You just literally go home completely exhausted.
And it can be one costly habit.
It gets kind of expensive, particularly if you don't cash a check getting the money.
That's why if Leroy wants to start up one of these, he also needs to fire up this. Leroy admits there are much more lucrative ways to make a living, but he might not have such an understanding boss.
I always wanted to be my own boss because I've always liked fishing and that, and weekends and taking whenever I can go off, you know, get off, and being your own boss, you don't have to say, boss, can I have a day off, you know.
Leroy's hoping he needs to give himself some time off come Tournament of Champions time. In the meantime, he'll clean up here so that he might clean up out here.
Tournament fishing gets in your blood, and it's just something you got to do sometimes, I guess.
I think I got a fish. Oh, a good fish. We got it, Diane. Don't come up. Oh, Joe, I'm telling you what. I think it's going to be a good one. He's coming. Oh, he's coming. That's right. Nice job, buddy. There's. Got another one, guys.
We got one in the boat, and I got Joe. I got a dandy. Just bite the line off. Put him in. Oh my! Got him. Got a boy. One of the things with these jig worms, the hook is fairly fine, and the fish will hook themselves. So you don't have to set the hook real hard. You just tighten the line up and lean back on it. Those are the kind we need, partner.
Bill caught a fish and he had it just by a hair inside there, and I couldn't quite get him out. And he caught another one. It was either throw him on the bottom of the boat or cut the line and quick grab the next one, so that's what I did.
There's a good fish. Hopefully it's a green one of the right type.
He's not real big, but he's...
What?
He's okay.
That'll work. Typical Homme Dieu. Number 3. You're kind of fishing against the other guys out there, but we're all also fishing against the fish. I love hunting, and fishing is a lot like hunting. You got to do your scouting. You got to find the edges of where the fish are, and that's what makes it fun. Oh, that's a much better fish. That's why we have 4-foot long nets. Keep doing that all day, I don't care. There, that's a better fish.
With the abundance of bass in this system, some of the anglers are taking the approach that this is purely a numbers game. The more bass they can boat during the day, the better opportunity they're going to have of making a connection with those tournament-winning fish. Pro angler Dwayne Anderson and his amateur partner John Hayes are taking just that approach, boating one pile of fish.
I got a good partner today. He's been just awesome with the net, and we've had just an outstanding crankbait bite this morning. It runs about 6-8 feet deep, and we just kind of throw it out there, a little bit longer cast, and just kind of pump it along, pause, pump it. Actually, this morning, to tell you the truth, my adrenaline was going too fast. I was just winding her in, so it wasn't too scientific. One thing I do, too, is I've been putting a colored hook on there, and it seems to get the bass to grab the whole bait. I don't know if they're attracted to that hook a little better, and they just seem to engulf the whole bait. I haven't lost any fish.
I could not believe how fast these fish were coming in the boat. It was action like I've never seen in 20 years of bass fishing. It was incredible.
All right, I'm on it. Good night.
All right. That's good. Keep them going.
Oh, you gotta, doggone it. It's a big flat in here. And these fish have just moved up in this scattered cabbage in here, and we're just flipping to them. You throw in there, they'll usually catch it on the fall, or you give it one little jump and they'll be on it.
We're here on a big, huge weed flat. To the average observer, it looks like just a bunch of guys drifting across this flat catching bass. And that's exactly what it is, but it's a little bit more than that. Actually, the anglers that are going to come in with the bigger weights and more fish are going to be the anglers that focus on the small, subtle details, like choosing the right lure or fishing the spot on the spot, the humps, the bumps, and the ridges where the bigger bass lie and where they can find more fish.
The 3-pounders are pretty elusive today. A lot of these in the lake, about 2 pounds too small. I have my partner just casting inside to look for the fish that are maybe a little bit higher on the flat. I'm basically fishing the edge of the weeds, maybe 12 feet, 13 feet.
This is a government point, and basically it's not really a point, it's just a big flat with 3 or 4 holes in it. What we're targeting is the ledge right on the break. I'm sitting out 19 feet of water and we're just basically drop shotting. So we're using a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight tied on the bottom and go up about 1.5 feet. And I'm using a circle hook, it's basically a live bait hook. And I'm just rigging it with a tube, slowly just sitting there jiggling it off the bottom like that, trying to get, entice the fish to bite. Easy now. Okay, keep them down, keep them down. Oh yeah. We're just weighing ounces here, so. Oh, boy, these things are frisky.
Oh, I missed him. Pro's been very helpful. Fishing deep is kind of tougher for the newer fishermen. You don't know where your lure is, you don't know where the weed line is. He's been very nice about telling me where the breaks are, where to throw it.
That'll go. Since the sun's come up, we moved to the docks and just fishing in the shade. Got real high skies today, lots of sun, so these fish should really suck up to the dock.
Got him.
Hopefully we'll get some quality ones. We've got one good one about 4 pounds, lost another one about 4 pounds, so they're here. We'll just pound them out, see what we get.
Ah, got it. Can't believe I dropped that one. Well, we just missed a beauty. And then Troy just nabbed another nice one right there. 3-pounders on this chain, they're money. But we got to get a few more in the boat before we're thinking that way.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is brought to you by Rev Up Energy Drink, Star Tribune, and Yamaha Motors.
The Alex community is just fabulous. I mean, the people here are genuine. It makes you feel good to come here.
It's a great facility here at Arrowwood Resort. I've been here many times for other things, and the bass room is a great place to have here because they have all the amenities. They've got the putt-putt golfing. Families can come, and the kids have plenty to do because they've got the pools, they've got all the lake access.
You can fish out here all summer and never cover the same area. It's a great place to vacation if you're into bass fishing.
There's a family sitting out on the dock in Lake Darling. They were asking us what we were using to catch our fish. I pulled up next to him and offered him a couple flukes and some hooks so he'd know what to get when he was down at the tackle shop. And boy, he was tickled pink by that. And we got about 2 or 3 docks away and we heard a scream. We turned around and looked, and the little girl had probably a good 14-inch bass on the end of her rod. So that made my day.
It's not a numbers place, but it usually holds a couple piggies. Picked up 2 decent fish off the end. We got 2 nice fish in the box, and then I think we may have 3 peanuts in the box that will just make 12 inches. Actually, Seth picked up both the nice fish. On my rod, I might add.
Right now, Brian and I, we're working an inside turn here on a point. Right now, we're sitting with a pretty good limit of fish. One more big fish could do it for us. We'll see what happens.
That's Homme Dieu for you.
We caught a lot of fish. We caught them really fast. We're sitting out here now in a little deeper water. We're trying to get a little bigger fish. And a lot of bigger fish are coming on the 4-inch worm, but the 7.5-inch worm is catching the most fish. We got a fish on it. We think we've got a great bag, but we're trying to always get a little bit bigger fish. You never know until you get into the end of the day, and we're sitting here trying to get about a 17 or 18-incher. Our smallest fish is over 2 pounds. We're trying to get one that's 2.5. Here's one right now. And it's not the right fish. And you always catch some of these. Last cast, Rick. Let's see what we can do.
See if that can take over the big fish, because it's going to be worth over $1,700 here this afternoon. 4.55, that's your big fish leader here in the Alexandria chain. Sapphire.
Let's just set a new Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour record for the fastest arrival on stage to the hot seat that we've ever had.
And $40,000 online. This man wants to cash a check. He's got one of the hottest boats on the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour. Bring him up, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Leroy Renstrom, along with his co-angler for the day from Excelsior, Minnesota, the man who helped put this K-Fan Junior Am program together, Dan Seaman.
18.20 is unofficially leading the tournament. And you're going to just sneak into second with 18.14 pounds. K-Fan's own Billy Hildebrand from Chaplin, Minnesota. And Joe Swanson. Bill, I think there's a couple people out there that listen to Fan Outdoors every once in a while.
It's been a hoot, it's been a gas, and I don't know how we're going to end up, but however it shows up, I had a great partner, and we had a good time.
I'm going to tell you what, because I hate to interrupt you here, Billy, but you take the lead with 18.81 pounds.
Chipper, who do we got now?
Well, the last boat to come across the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour stage, and the last people to knock off Billy and Joe here are going to be from Freeport, Minnesota, Brian Blazer.
Bass are flopping around. Right now, unofficially, Bill Hildebrand is leading it with 18.81. You just crushed that with 22.69 pounds. There's your new tournament winner. Hold him up high. 4.55 is leading it for big fish. They just took that too with 5.03 pounds for the big bass of the day. And there is your 2002 Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour Alexandria champions, folks.
This is the type of bait we were fishing today. It's 3/16 ounce stamina jig head with a barbarian hook, and we're using a 7 to 7.5 inch black worm. We cast it out and we just swim it in. You watch your line, you'll see your line take off, or it'll jump, and when you see that kind of thing, you always set the hook. I always say hook sets are free, so you can always just let her rip.
Bass Tour anglers light up the Alexandria Chain of Lakes today, bringing well over 700 largemouth bass to the scales.
Sparks were flying when youth and enthusiasm formed the team of Ross Taylor and Brian Bankston to come in third place with 18.20 pounds.
K-Fan radio personality Billy Hildebrand and his amateur partner Joe Swanson swim into second place with 18.81 pounds.
The big story, though, for first place with a mega weight of 22.69 pounds, Brian Blazer and Rick Hill spoken into first place, burying the competition.
We've now gotten done with 3 events of the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour. This takes us to our 4th and the Angler of the Year race. So if these guys want to make it to the championship, and who's going to be Angler of the Year, we don't know yet, but you may know if you join us August 3rd for the Minnesota ProAm Bass Tour on Lake Vermilion.
Camera boats provided by Crystal Piers Marine. Tournament apparel provided by Cabela's.